Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome to another edition of Hilaal Live. My name's Luqman Shadrack, all the way from the Cape Town studios. Thanks for joining us on channel 347 on DSTV. On a Wednesday, I was going to say Thursday. I'm looking forward to Thursday. It's only Wednesday. On a Wednesday, we generally invite Mrs. Fadwa Booley in studio to chat about the Soul series. It's a series we've been conditioning over the last couple of weeks, and we continue. Back in studio, Fadwa Booley. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for coming in and
Thank you.
chatting as well. We've had some great response from some of our audience with regards
great.
to the Soul series. And also with your following, you travel throughout the country to Durban and Johannesburg. And I think people are excited when they see you on our screens as well, knowing that some of this information can just be passed on via our channel.
Great. That's good news.
Yeah, that's absolutely good news. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been discussing goals and how we, look at our goals, how we obtain them, how we handle them, how we process them as well. What do you have for us this week?
So one of the things that came up, clients asked me this week, they said to me, what happens if we want to go for these goals but you don't have the money? Mm-hmm. And I ran through all these things at the workshop, in workshop 3. And then I said, what do you understand about money? So I'm going to ask you the question.
Okay.
When you hear money, when you hear wealth, what happens to your body? How do you feel?
Well, obviously when you don't have, that's a different story. When you do have, you then start budgeting accordingly and you start, putting, compartmentalize how you spend that wealth.
No, I mean, when I say the word money, what happens to your body?
Tenses up.
Yes.
Generally.
Yes.
Okay.
So you see, when you don't come from wealth, right, and you see your parents struggle, what happens? It's a belief system.
Absolutely.
So it depends on how your parents handled money. It becomes your way of handling money.
Okay.
So let's say you come from wealth, let's say generational wealth. And if you look at the wealthy, they're generally very calm people when it comes to money. Now, when you look at our society at large, and you look at someone that doesn't have readily available and they need to pay something, they get a bill. So what I do is I coach in the workshops to identify what your body feels like. Because now I'm going to say the word money and the listeners or the viewers must actually just feel what their body feels like. So this is the first step of awareness. Money, wealth, abundance, what happens to your body? So I remember way back in the day, when I had to pay something or I came across money, I would go tense. I'd actually have anxiety. Now I'm so calm. I'm calm. Why? Because
you're rich.
Yes. Besides that, right? Putting it mildly. Besides that, it's like I had to train myself. I had to undo belief systems. I had to get to the root of why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling anxious? What emotions attached? Where did I get that? So with any belief, we have to question it. Where did I first hear this? Who taught it to me? Is it my voice? Is it somebody else's voice? Right? And especially with the ego is going to want to keep you safe. And then it's going to tell you all the things of how you can't be wealthy, why you shouldn't do what you're doing, rather stay in your comfort zone. So I make you aware of whose voice is it in your head. Listen quietly. Is it your voice? Whose voice? You'll be able to hear the voice.
Okay.
And then I ask this question. So give me a belief or a few beliefs, right? And I'm putting you on the spot right now, on when you hear affirmations, or not necessarily affirmations, belief systems regarding money. I'll give you an example. Okay. Money is the root of all evil.
Right.
What's other beliefs that you heard of money?
Money can open doors. Money can hinder your progress.
Yes.
Money can, just provide a decent life for you and your family.
Right.
But okay, that's ultimately our goal, right?
Yes.
Is to get that balance, to get enough money in order to look after yourself and your family.
Yes.
Right? That's generally we both all feel like that. But then the other aspect is in terms of if you're a businessman, you would think differently.
Yes.
If you're a student, you would think differently. If you're a parent, you would think differently on how and what money can do.
Absolutely. So you still have positive. Lots of people, they come up with the negative beliefs. Money don't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. They will say something like to the effect of people are horrible when they are wealthy, And now what I do with that statement, I will question it and say, okay, where did you learn that?
Okay.
Do you actually really believe that?
Yeah.
Now give them the positive of the money. I say, but can't, like you said earlier, money opens the doors.
Right.
Money helps so many people. Like, look at the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said money for us. We pay sadaqah, we give zakah. 2.5% of our wealth we give to the poor, right? And by sharing, automatically we will go into a higher vibrational energy.
I want to stop you right there. We're having a couple of technical issues. We want to go for an ad break very quickly. We want to sort those technical issues out. When we come back, we chat a bit more to Fadwa Booley around setting goals. You are still watching Hilaal Live. Assalamu alaikum, and we do apologize for that technical glitch. We had a couple of signal issues. We've now sorted that out so we can continue our conversation with Fadwa. Fadwa, jazakallah so much. So we do apologize for that. So we were chatting about goals. We were chatting, you were mentioning, when you mention money, what it does to your body, what it does to your mind as well. Would you like to continue from where you stopped?
So the awareness is, how do you feel when you hear the word money? How do you feel when you actually get a bill to pay?
Right.
So what I do is I make you aware of your feelings. I make you aware of what emotions you're going through. And now we start questioning that. We start unpacking that. Where did it start from?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Now, the other thing is that when you have a account to pay, I ask the client to look at the gratitude. Gratitude that somebody has trusted you, entrusted you with their money, and they gave you something on an account and allowed you and trusted you to pay it afterwards. So most people, when they get the bill to pay, what happens is they go into stress mode. So I said, go into gratitude. Whenever you pay that bill, say thank you. Do it with a thank you. And afterwards, people said that when they pay their bills, they're feeling much happier and their accounts got squared up much quicker, their cards got squared up much quicker, and they just loved paying their debt. So when you start changing the narrative of where you're at with your money, your emotions and everything, and change it to something positive, you will see how money starts flowing, because money is an energy. It comes to those first that you have a plan for it. Like I said, that's why I always do the goal settings. And secondly is, if you are calm, it's going to come to you much quicker. Because you must remember, if you're in anxiety space, what's going to happen is you're going to repel. And if you're in a desperate space, because what happens is desperation, it just repels. It repels everything.
Right.
Think about a person standing on the corner begging. What happens to you when you pull up by the stop?
Well, there's this, mindfulness of, do I help? Do I ignore the person because I'm going to feel bad about that because I've never helped I've now not helped somebody that's destitute. Do I, just ignore, or what do I do? So it's those type of emotions that swim around.
So we're going to fight. So the fight we have in our mind is the ego. The ego is going to say, this person can go work. Right? That's the person that, why is this person standing here? They can go work. On the other hand, you're going to think, we normally avoid making eye contact. So what happens is, this person is standing with their hands cupped, begging. The only person, or the only one we should ever be in this position is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Absolutely.
Because when you're desperate, so what happens when the person stands there, I avoid eye contact.
Right.
We're scratching all over in the car. Don't want to make eye contact. Why? Because we're feeling a desperate energy.
Right.
Think of a desperate salesperson as well. You walk into a shop and there's a desperation. You don't want to deal with that person. So what I make the client aware is that when you're desperate for money, the money is going to bypass you. It's going to go to somebody with a plan and somebody that is calm.
Right. So that energy has been focused and sent somewhere else.
Yes, absolutely. So you must remember, money comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through people. So not from you. Your rizq is already written from the time before you came to earth. Your rizq, every single cent. Your rizq is written. You're not going to get a cent more or a cent less.
But then there are times that we make istikhara for certain things in our life, certain guidance from Allah as well.
Yes. So that is why it's there. So the guidance is there, and the salahs is there, and the du'as are there to say, Allah, please increase my rizq. But now I give a different look at it. I say, please increase the barakah in my rizq. Because let's say somebody can earn 100,000 a month, and that another person can earn 1,000 rand a month. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed barakah in your rizq, then what happens is that is going to spread throughout the month. You also have money left. At the end of the month, let's say you're working with 1,000 rand. But if somebody say the person with 100,000 doesn't have barakah in their wealth, they're going to come to the end of the month and they're going to look for money and wait for their paycheck again. Right. So it's all about, when I say, when you make dua, I say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please grant me barakah in my time, my money, and my energy. Those are the three things we ask for. Because when there's barakah, it's just going to expand and you're going to be able to give much more.
Okay, so let's just reiterate and take a couple of steps back as well. So you're saying that, for example, when we get a bill, change our mindset, to have more shukr
Yes.
and be thankful rather than saying, how am I going to pay this?
Yes.
All right, even if I don't have the money.
Yes. So you see, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran? When you are grateful, I give you more. So if you're thanking for something already.
Right.
So when I'm setting goals, when I'm on my tahajjud musla, so the difference between istikhara, istikhara asks for guidance, and the tahajjud I ask, Ya Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is what I want. Here's my list, and I thank you in advance. Right. So before my month start, I give an example. I'll say, this is my conversation I haven't seriously because I believe Allah is my best friend. I say, Allah, I need 50,000 rand. I need it by the 28th of the month, please. Because now I already got the list of where the money is going to go to, what I'm going to pay, who all I'm going to give money to, whatever I'm going to do, the list is already there.
Right.
Because the money is an energy. If you've got a plan for it, it's going to come to you.
Sure.
And then before the time, then I say, I thank you in advance. Because now my trust is there. I'm handing it over. I'm not going to worry how it's going to come. I've already asked the Creator, the owner of everything on earth. He owns every single cent, right? I've already asked him, this is what I'm needing, and I trust you're going to provide it, and I thank you in advance.
Nice.
By the 28th of that month comes, there's a 55,000 in my banking account. I'll give you an example. He's given me an extra 5,000 rand for pocket money.
Right.
Because everything else is sorted. So that is what I've done for many, many years. And that is why when I do the financial coaching, I sit with you and I say, okay, show me all the debt you have. Show me all the things you need to pay. How are we going to work this? You should know your banking fees. You should know every single thing from your rent or your bond, your telephone bill, every single cent be allocated. Now we know exactly how much money we need. Projected income, your actual income, right? And then what other ways and means you can get money in. Once you're aware of this is going to motivate you, especially when you're self-employed. Or you can do something on the side, like maybe freelancing something, and then you can also increase your money. The difference is when you're working for a boss or you're working in the system, you're just going to get set amount of money, right?
I agree. You know, just today I had a conversation about how parents used to work with money, and they used to have it in envelopes.
Yes.
You know, and once the money's dried up in that envelope, that's it.
Yes.
You know, I've paid what I needed to do for the month. And look, these days we work with, EFTs, and although we've got an Excel spreadsheet, we can do with the budget, and that allows us this. But my point, what I'm trying to make is that although our parents have set a standard where we can continue and just build on that, breaking that cycle of how we used to work with our money, with our goals, obtaining the goals, can be very difficult. I mean, you know, someone that's not open to change and someone that's not open to learning new things, that can be quite difficult.
I would say challenging, right? If you look at our parents back in the day, I feel, this is my opinion, that they had more barakah in their money. They had more children, right? And their money could spread.
Right.
And look at all the functions they had. Look at all the entertainment they did. And they could just feed everybody and that. Today's life is so different.
Yeah.
It is so different, right? And I remind my kids and I say, the more we give, the more we feed others, the more you're going to have. My grandmother used to set an extra placemat at the table, and she then said, why would we do this? And then she said, just in case somebody walk in, and then you can invite them to come sit down, right? Because there's a hadith that says, when somebody, you give them a plate of food in your home, when they walk out, whatever the negativity was in their home, they take it with them.
Wow.
They cleanse it for you. So that's what's important. So the more we give, the more we're going to get. So coming back to the person begging on the street, we're gonna fight with that. The point I was making with that is, in desperation, the money is going to bypass you. That's why you need to cut off the desperation, because the desperation, you're only going to take that desperation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the days when I did need money desperately, and I say, Ya Allah, I need something to pay or money to pay that, somebody would come and book a consultation. Somebody would remember that to pay me for something, that money would be there.
Right.
So we need to have that trust with money to know that Allah will never forsake me. You know, I'm going to get everything I need. And when you're in that low space, especially with somebody, maybe they lost their job now with COVID.
Of course.
This was times for us to really look at all the unnecessary spending we were doing.
Oh, of course.
It
definitely.
was a big cleanse.
Yes.
Like a total
It
cleanse.
was cathartic to a large point as well.
It was. Because now we had to pull back and see, where am I wasting money? Like all the takeaways that the people are spending on. For example, and just buying unnecessary stuff. I saw a meme one day, they said that when you buy too much unnecessary things, you're going to need to sell those things eventually when you don't have money.
Of course.
And then, of course, it's investments, investing your money, putting away. I always tell my clients is open up a Hajj fund, Hajj Umrah fund, because I've got my travel fund. And every month without fail, the minute, because I'm self-employed, but I treat my money as a salary.
Right.
On the 28th of the month, I transfer my money over as a salary. I pay myself first.
Right.
Right. Do you pay yourself first when you get your salary?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So you take 5 to 10% off that money. You pay yourself for the cream of the crop. This I learned from John DeMartini. You pay yourself for the cream of the crop, and that money you put away. The more your money increases, the more confidence you will have. Look at somebody who doesn't have money. Look at their posture. They walk like this. Look at somebody who does have money. They walk like this, broad shoulders.
Start sitting like this. Just change that posture very quickly. People may think, get the wrong impression here.
Yes, look, man, coming no money's bank account. Half month. So.
Being self-employed is a whole different kettle of fish.
Yes.
Because... And you're right, COVID has opened up so many ways of thinking, how we work, where we work. We've learned to work remotely, all of that. And we should, why couldn't we do this years ago? If only. However, there are some people that still rely and appreciate getting a salary from a company, from an organization, from wherever you work. They sort of, guided that way.
Yes.
Which is not wrong. It's just who you are. But when you're self-employed, your thinking becomes so different.
Absolutely.
The way you speak, the way you interact, your hours of working as well. And I'm sure most people that have worked from home have now also realized that they work longer hours.
Much longer.
You don't realize it, but it's definitely more hours that you put in.
But here's the thing with being self-employed. You work 24/7.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't stop. At least I can use myself as an example. My brain doesn't stop. I grew up with two parents. My father was self-employed. He was into the woodwork trade.
Okay.
And my mother was in the home industries, pies and pastries.
Oh, wow.
So I had two parents who were basically...
I've tasted your mom's pies and pastries, by the way.
Oh, great.
Just, by the way.
Next week in the time, we probably bring some.
Yeah, well, that was my next question. Yeah.
Then, so I grew up with two self-employed parents. I have personally never worked for a boss in my life.
Okay.
I worked for my father. I didn't consider him as a boss, because he was my father. So the thing is, my brain doesn't work like a normal person's brain. So I know exactly how to make money. You tell me, give me an idea of something, I'll tell you exactly how to do it. Alhamdulillah, that is how Allah set my brain, and that's probably how I trained myself from a young age.
Entrepreneurs are built very
different.
Some people don't start off as entrepreneurs. They go into a trade, work for a company, and then realize, hold on, I can do the very same thing. I've learned, I've got the experience. And then your mindset starts kicking into overtime mode, because that's just what it is.
I used to do that. Now when I lock my therapy room door, I'm cut off.
Right.
So when people ask me questions, I'll deal with it tomorrow when I'm back in my therapy. Before I used to lay in bed, 10:30 at night, okay, this I must do it. And I realized I need to detach.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even like with my workshops, I'll get ideas and I said, I can create this workshop, I can create that workshop. But it's because I'm so passionate about my work. So it's not just about making the money. The money is a bonus. If we didn't have to pay for living on this earth, then I'll probably do my work free because I'm so passionate about it.
Nice.
But most people will come in and they will hint for the discounts, right? And then I ask them, can you go to, they say, oh, but you're doing Allah's work. This is like the favorite one. But you're doing Allah's work. Then I say, can you go to Pick n Pay, sell Raymond Ackerman? I'm doing Allah's work, but I need a bread. Can you give me bread because I'm doing Allah's work? I say, it doesn't work like that. In today's world, it doesn't.
Unfortunately. So with the sessions that you do with your clients and also your group sessions as well, is this a conversation that comes up a lot?
Yes.
How do I deal with money? How do I deal with coping with money? How do I deal when I don't have money? And what are some of the common concerns?
The common concerns when people go broke, right? And
the lack of not having.
Lack of not having, but then they're going to victim mindset. They just go to default.
Okay.
Then I want to press a button, the body restore to factory settings, So in that moment when that is happening, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving you time to really reevaluate for your past couple of months, what have you done? And why haven't you learned the lessons that were supposed to be learned? Right? So I had a client, said the same thing. I was so broke, I didn't, and I'm thinking, but you've done the work before. And then he was putting all his eggs in one basket.
Okay.
Right? And
He
he's
wasn't
self-employed.
diversifying. Yeah.
Yes. And then he realized in that moment of that rock bottom, he realized what he was doing wrong. So when you're in that space, it gives you an opportunity to reflect. It gives an opportunity to see, what am I doing and how can I do things better?
Right.
You know? So with being self-employed, it's a bit tricky, but you can earn much more money being self-employed. Because if you are really a go-getter, you can just look at ways and means. And the question must be knowing how much you need to have for the month and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you didn't write this for me, please unwrite it and rewrite my rizq for me.
And if you're not a go-getter, that's also okay, because then you can attend various courses, various sessions in order to coach you.
Yes.
To become where you need to be.
Yes.
What's our take home from today's lesson?
Take home is definitely look at your energy when you're looking at paying your bills. How you feel when you hear the word money. How you feel when you touch notes. Feel the notes in your purse. I was reading Ken Honda's book, Happy Money, and he speaks about the gratitude and how gratitude increases that vibration of your money.
Wow.
And you can actually touch a note. I know lots of stuff is EFTs now, but you can actually touch a note to see if the person paid you with happy money or sad money. I did it one day and I said sad money. Oh, here's happy money. So how people pay you, that energy goes with the money as well. So
okay.
Yeah,
that's
so everything is energy. So you can be able to feel when somebody wants to pay you wholeheartedly and somebody doesn't want to pay you, the money becomes sad money.
Eskom's going through a lot of sad money at the moment because there's no energy there at all. We all feeling the pinch. Fadwa, thanks so much for coming into studio. We look forward to next week's edition, inshallah. We may not have. We will let you know. But all the very best with your travels and have a great evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Shukran.
And that's Fadwa Booley chatting to us on the Soul series. Thanks for watching us. After the break, we chat to Yusuf Khan Dalwai. Very interesting topic about if the criminal record, if you've got a criminal record, what to do, how to do it, how to expunge it as well in the South African justice system. You are still watching Hilaal Live.